What's up, everyone? I'm Tamara, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about the defenses of borderline personality disorder, and I think it's important to understand how some of these defense mechanisms work. So, acting out is one type of defense mechanism that you see in people with borderline personality disorder, which is a self-defense mechanism and deals with self-control. It's acting out in the performance of an action considered bad or antisocial, and in general usage, the action performed is destructive to the self or to others. So it's a way for somebody to also avoid their thoughts or what they're feeling or their self-image, rather than waiting until there's a more appropriate time to handle a situation. So by acting out, the person avoids the anxiety or frustration that they're feeling, and instead of postponing a behavior, they act on it. So when you think of acting out, you think of inappropriate, the wrong time. You think that could be handled differently. So it's usually pent up or built up anxiety or irritation and frustration. Maybe it's also a struggle to hold back what you're feeling. So we all have to learn how to manage that. When you have a 2-year-old or a young child, they act out a lot. Why? Because they want what they want when they want it, and they don't understand why I can't have what I want, or if they're angry, they just show it. But that's something that we all have to work on. Intellectualizing is a defense mechanism that BPDs can also use, and it's a way to block confrontation with an unconscious conflict, and it's associated with emotional stress, where thinking is used to avoid feelings. It involves emotionally removing oneself from a stressful event. And there are some high-functioning borderlines who are great at this. So if they're in therapy, they're probably going to start giving therapy to the therapists, because they're not going to, it's a way to avoid your emotions and what you're really feeling. So it's using information and data only. And when I was learning to become a counselor, we had to counsel each other and have sessions every week. And I overheard the professor telling the person who was counseling me that I was intellectualizing, and not to let me do that, because it was like I was, instead of going into, hey, I'm really hurt, or I'm really feeling sad about this, or this is frustrating, I was, it happens because of the pretext and the frontal lobes, and instead of delving into what the actual issue is. And I think where some borderlines may have difficulty, and you see this on a different spectrums, because some borderlines are more in touch with their feelings than others. But if they struggle to identify what is sadness, what is happiness, what is confusion, what is embarrassed, what do those things feel like? If they're having difficulty with identifying the self and connecting feelings, then it's gonna be hard. That's gonna be the challenge, is gotta work on feelings and what that means and what that looks like. Another defense mechanism that you may see with borderlines is passive aggressive behavior, which is a pattern of indirectly expressing negative feelings instead of openly addressing them. There's a disconnect between what a person who exhibits passive aggressive behavior says and what he or she does. So it involves indirectly expressing someone's anger by failing on purpose, or pretending to be sick, or putting things off instead of getting them done. And it causes aggravation in the people that they're having to interact with. And some people are great at passive aggressive, and the problem is they won't stop. They just say, oh yes, okay, I'll do that, and you know that they're not going to do it. Or they just can't be it creates a sense of distrust between you and another person. So instead of saying, I won't be able to do that, or I can't get to it, or I'm struggling to get that done, a lot of passive aggressiveness can come from a feeling of insecurity that they can't do it or they won't perform well. So then I'll just pretend that I can do it but fail at it, and then cause this whole ricochet of unfinished business or problems that someone else has to sweep up. So it's real important to understand these defense mechanisms so that you can learn not to do them, so that you can have better relationships with other people. And then finally, let's talk about projection. So this involves thinking that someone else's thoughts or feelings or their beliefs are your own. So whatever you're feeling, you think someone else is feeling that way. So you might say, oh, my neighbor hates me, when the truth is you hate your neighbor, but you're projecting that onto the other person. What you're feeling, you think the other person is feeling. And that can cause all kinds of problems, because if you always feel like, oh, this person doesn't like me, or they don't want me to do certain things, or they think badly of me, when the deep down subconscious truth is that's what you're feeling towards that other person. You don't trust them, but you say, well, they don't trust me. So if you're projecting negativity on someone and it's not accurate, then doesn't that cause relationship issues with you and another person? So all of these things serve to protect the borderline, but at the same time, they can also cause issues in relationships with others. So you have to be very, very self-aware. Let us know in the comments if you've ever been guilty of using one of these defense mechanisms. All humans do, but some may use them more than others. So let us know, share, and check out my book, Flip the Script on Love by Tamara Zyon. It's on Amazon. If you're struggling in a love relationship and you want to make that better, I think my book can really, really help you and be an enjoyable experience for you. So check it out. Share my video with other people that you think it can help. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye, wonderful people.